What's up, everybody? Coach Tony here, Fighting for Overtime podcast. Hope everybody's having a good evening. And again, talked about this story a few weeks ago, and we wanted to bring back some updates. We're going to go from good luck Gia to hashtag Gia Strong. We're going to get into this in a little bit. I want to just get some stuff out of the way. Remember, I'm on my own producer, so this takes a little time for a second. So just bear with me for 1 minute. And again, when I do these, this isn't about, these kind of, professional podcasts when I do live. Okay. Basically, what I'm doing is I just want to have a conversation. I want to let everybody know, what's going on. Want to let everybody know the updates because I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and which has been fantastic. And I just wanted to take care of a couple things. Okay. So again, I tagged LSAA softball, tagged Bucks County Girls Softball League, and for good reason. I'm going to explain that in a second. So just to give everybody a quick update, okay? What I want to do is I reached out to multiple people reached out to me, and I actually spoke to the mom today through direct message. And again, no reason to get all the full names out, anything like that. The most important thing is what's going on. How did everything work out? What are we doing? So I just want to give everybody a little bit of an education about the disease that I've come to find out that Gia is dealing with. And before we go any further, the part of this show and this program and this podcast has not just been about bringing up negative stuff, because I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. But again, it's for good reasons to raise awareness, right? We're all about raising awareness, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Or we can all learn from situations. I say this all the time. We can all learn from situations, whether these situations be on a softball field or at home or in school, wherever it is, right? We can learn from these situations. And I say this because a lot of things that come up on this show are real life circumstances. Real life circumstances, things that have happened, whether it be on or off the field, things that have happened to people personally, people that have happened to players and coaches and families. There's a lot into this. There's a lot that goes into this. And I say it all the time. There's a lot that goes into this. It's not just about the highs and the lows, it's about real life. And right now, this is the real life story. So, just to recap real fast, the story that was brought to me by Stitch, the head of LSAA softball, who told me about a girl named Gia, a girl that had to go through brain surgery, a girl that had to go through a rare disease. And the thing about it is, I never really understood, even when I was doing that episode, the magnitude of this situation. Honestly, I didn't know. I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to just make people aware. I wanted to make people to say, you know what? This is something that I really need to look into. This is something I want to learn about. This is something I want to support. And I brought that up because I know a lot of us, listen, we're all happy because, the Philadelphia Eagles won, and we're all happy that, that Jalen Hurts played well, and we're all saying, go birds, go birds, go birds. But I just wanted to take a night at that time to take some energy away from the normal stories of the city, the normal stories of the world when it comes to sports. And let's put that energy into something else. Let's put this energy into this teenage girl that's fighting a battle. Not only her, her sister, her family. Okay, her family, and she put it all aside, still smiling, played up to to that day before she had this surgery, knowing. And when I read you, what she probably already knew, because, like I said, like I came to find out, I didn't even know that it affected more than just Gia. It affected her sister, her family. The story is riveting. It really is. And I just want to say, man, when you hear these things and we talk about these things, listen, everything else is second priority, right? Everything else is second priority. Oh, that's number one priority when we see the kids. Like I have to say before I even go into the story, and again, I am just free balling here, right? I'm free flowing. Okay, probably free ball probably wasn't the right word. Okay, but I'm free flowing right here because I'm talking about just life in general. Okay, I'm free flowing because the anytime, whether cured or not cured, I see a child sick, I see a child suffering. I ask myself, why? Like, why is this going on? Why is this happening? My daughter asks me all the time, Dad, why? Why? I don't understand. Why this is, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Right? So we always think about that, and I have trouble with that personally. I do. I've tried, I'm a person of faith, and I brought up Catholic and all that, but I have such a hard time understanding why. Now, again, I'm not listen, this isn't this story about, this terrible what I'm saying though is a story of why does this happen? Right? So I do struggle with that personally. I think about that stuff all the time. Okay. So when this story was given to me from Virginia, a local girl in Bucks County. Okay. They played for the Bucks County Girls Softball League. You can follow the journey right there. You can visit the Bucks County Softball Facebook page. It's rolling across the screen right there. Very, very easy. It's in the links in the description. It's in the comments on what you're watching right now, whether you're watching it on YouTube, okay, whether you're watching it on Facebook. Like, subscribe, you know the drill, the whole thing. But I'm not even here for that. I'm here to get the story out and to bring awareness about what we're doing. Okay. So the story goes given to me about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And I think she had surgery October 5th, October 6th. So we're probably about 3 weeks. And we were in a situation where here's this young girl who understood that she was suffering from a rare brain disease. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. I had to look up the pronunciation because I wasn't sure. It's called Chiari malformation. Chiari malformation. Okay. Now I just put this in the link in the description, and it's a clickable link. You can go on there, okay, and it will come up. Okay, very very simple. It's right there. Okay, you click on it, it give you all the information straight from Chop. Okay, Chiari malformation. Now let me read this to you. So this is what this girl, 13 years old, knew. And again, because it's a family thing, her family saw, I'm not going to get to all that. It's crazy. It really is. And just say a prayer, put your positive thoughts behind Gia, behind Gia's family. Right now, they absolutely need it. Okay. They absolutely need it. And Chiari malformation is a rare condition that affects the back part of the head where the brain and spinal cord connect. It causes some of the brain tissue in the lower part of the brain to be pushed downward through the opening at the base of the skull into the spinal canal. This can put pressure on parts of the brain and spinal cord, block the normal flow of spinal fluid in and around the brain, and lead to a buildup in the spinal cord. In most cases, it develops before birth. The exact cause is not always known, but may involve differences in the way the skull develops. Rarely, it can be acquired due to injury, infection, excessive drainage, or other conditions that affect the skull or brain over time. Now, there's multiple different kinds, and you can read it, but I just want to give you an idea of, and let's just symptoms, headaches, pain in the back, trouble swallowing, balance issues, weakness and abnormal movements, rapid eye movements, right? That's just type 1, right? Type 2, there's breathing problems, trouble swallowing, right? The crazy thing is the reason why I say this, listen to those symptoms that this girl was playing softball because she knew once she went in for surgery, it was going to take her a while to get back to be able to play again. Again, Chiari malformation is what she was suffering from and is suffering from. Now, my man Dave checking in. Good luck. Exact. Good luck to you. Thank you, Dave. And everybody, if you're on Facebook, if you're commenting, right, it's very, very simple. You watch this now, you watch it later, it doesn't matter. Good luck, Gia. Very, very simple to say. Everybody wants to say, go birds, go birds, go. Well, let's bag the go birds for the week. And let's just say good luck, Gia. Right now, I will give you a message from her mom, okay, of where she is at in her recovery. Okay. And I think that's the most important thing. And the other thing I want to share again is the shirts that are going to be on sale this weekend. There is a end of the season tournament at LSAA. They are tagged in this. They've printed up shirts, okay, which are again right here. Okay, good luck. Again, G is strong. All right, we went from good luck G to G is strong. This is their end of the season tournament. All the proceeds go directly to the family. Directly to the family. Let me explain to you why that's so important. Okay, let me explain to you why it's so important because on the verge of Gia, which I will get to, her recovery, her sister who suffers, her older sister who suffered from the same disease, developed an infection and had to go through surgery herself, has been in CHOP for the last 10 to 12 days. So not only does his family suffering from one, but two, and again, I don't want to say suffering because, man, from what I understand, they are absolute champions, absolute troopers. I have no idea how I would do this. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. God bless every single one of them, right? I don't know. God bless. I guess the only way you do it is you have to remain sane, right? Because you have a whole family that is relying on your support and your positivity and what your expressions and your emotional your emotional stance at that time, and they're looking to you for guidance, and it's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. So again, this is it, and you don't have to be in the tournament to get these shirts, right? You don't. Again, I'm not saying, all I'm saying is these shirts are on sale through LSAA. They are tagged in here. Very, very simple. If you would like to support the family at this time and support Gia in her battle and her journey, okay, it's a t-shirt and all the proceeds will go directly to the family to help them at this time. Okay. And if you want to, you watch this later, you want and you're unsure, you're saying, Tony, I'd love to get, how do I do it? Let me know and I will direct you to the right place, or I will just get it for you. It's fine because I'm going to get one myself so I can wear it on the next show. Okay. So let me give you a quick update that I got today from Gia's mom. Okay. And I love everybody checking in right now with the good luck, Gia. Good luck, Gia. Thank you again. It means, listen, I'm telling you, it means a lot. It means a lot. Okay. So I talked to Gia's mom today, and I will say that I do think, and just for education purposes, okay, because I could talk about, the Chiari malformation or Chiari malformation disease that, her family suffers from right off a website, but that's not telling a true story, right? I think we all know that. And listen, if her mom wasn't sleep deprived right now and her mom wasn't going through it, she'd be joining me tonight. And I do feel like in the future she will. And just to raise awareness on this crazy disease that's affecting her family right now. Okay. And her children and her daughters, which is again, shout out to the family, for Gia's family and for Gia and her sister. It's crazy. Okay. So from her mom, Gia got home on the 7th. She was doing okay. Then her incision got a little infected. She did a round of antibiotics and is being monitored at home. She is handling this all like a champ. I am so proud of her. This is one of the most painful surgeries she could have, but she took it like a champ. He will hopefully be getting the staples out soon. That staples in her head from the surgery. Now, I'm not going to share the picture on here, but what I can tell you is, as she was recovering, her older sister, had a setback. and her sister is now in ICU recovering from another surgery for this disease. And I will tell you this, and this is what I think put the biggest smile to my face and said to myself, wow, you know what? It with all the bullshit that goes on in everyday life and all the stuff that we say we got problems with and all the stuff that we complain about and we bitch and we moan and this and that. I'm watching this girl. I'm talking about Gia now. I see a picture of Gia who still has the staples in her head. Okay. Is 2.5 weeks endured from one of the toughest surgeries that she's had. What is she doing? She's standing next to the hospital bed by her older sister's side as she's fighting the same goddamn thing. What do you think? G is probably not in pain, but no. What is she doing? She got a smile on her face. I don't like. Again, you want a heartfelt story, and again, this isn't for pity, right? This isn't for. I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is, just let's think about this because I've talked about this before. We bring up multiple stories on this program, multiple stories about, and I do it myself, about negative things that have happened to me personally, right? We bring it up all the time. I go in these Facebook groups and people are bitching about umpires and they're bitching about teams and they're bitching about this and pitchers and rules and throw all that shit out the friggin' window right now. Think about it. Think about what you're bitching about. Think about what you're complaining about. And here's this young girl and this family. They don't even have time to bitch about that. They don't even have time. You know what? They don't even care. You know why? She didn't even care. She knew what the path was, and she continued to play because she knew I want to get it all in. I want to get it all in. And my Lord, man, I wish we had more of that in people out there in this world. I really do. Maybe it would be a better place when we talk about youth sports. Maybe it would be a better place. But this is the kind of story. This is the kind of story that is absolutely riveting to me. When I started this podcast, I say it all the time. One of the things, and my man Vegas checking this says Oprah needs to hear about this. A lot of people need to hear about this family. But here's the thing, and I can tell you this. You know, I've never been through it, but sometimes it's not about that, right? Sometimes it's not about you know about the family itself. And here's the crazy part. From what I get, and I've had multiple people reaching out to me. I've had multiple people talking to me about this story. I've had multiple people open up to me about this story. And when they did, I get the sense that the parents are more concerned about raising awareness about this disease right now than they are about, I don't even like publicity and all this kind of thing. It's not about that, right? But Vegas, I understand and I agree, right? I think the more that this story gets out there, for this family, the more awareness that is shown, and on the back end, for me personally, the way I look at this situation is when I start this podcast, and this podcast is all about what's a lot of times what's wrong in youth sports and how we can hope to fix it and how we can hope to put it in a positive direction, in a different direction. I look at stories like this and say maybe this is, unfortunately, these are the stories that can help in that message. Maybe these are the stories that can help bring us to a specific path that we all want to ride on together. Because right now, when it comes to youth sports, everybody's battling. Parents are battling against each other, kids are battling against each other, whether it be online, whether it be behind the scenes, whether it be through emails and phone calls and rides home and on the field and on the bench. Everybody's battling, right? Everybody's battling because everybody's looking at what that next step is. Everybody wants to figure out what's that next step? What's that next journey? How can I get to that point? How can I get to this point, right? Everybody wants to know what that next step is. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What Gia was looking at is she was worried about, I just want to be a kid and have fun, right? So I know what my next step is, but I want to continue to play until the very last time I could take that step. So it's absolutely necessary for me to get this surgery done. And that's what she did. And she's a champion for that. And she's a trooper for that. And then, like I said, unfortunately, while she's recovering, her sister, who recovers from the same disease, okay, which is, again, if you're just tuning in, called Chiari malformation. And I put the link in there if you want to read about it. It's a chronic brain disease, okay, a disorder with multiple symptoms and multiple legs of recovery and surgeries. And again, it's unbelievable. And this girl is an absolute trooper because, like I said, I'm obviously, I'm not going to share it on here, but like I said, that when I'm looking at a picture of Gia, who's got staples still in her head, who's still recovering from her surgery, and her infections, and one of the worst surgeries her mom said that she can endure, sitting there with a smile on her face, standing up next to her sister's bed, as her sister's sitting there with a plate in her head too. And I'm saying that because just think about that vision. Think about it. So God bless, man. God bless. And I wanted to come on here and at least give everybody, because 2.5 thousand people. And I don't care. I don't do this for views. I don't do this for clicks. 2.5 thousand people tuned in to our original episode. 2.5 thousand. Okay. And that was just on Facebook alone. 2.5 thousand. And out of that, I had multiple people, emails, direct messages, YouTube, comments. What's going on with Gia? How's Gia doing? What's the update on Gia? And I was blown away. I was blown away. And I loved every minute of it. Because again, I have so many stories that I cannot wait to tell everybody, like success stories that have come from this podcast about so many different things, which has been fantastic. It makes me continue to know I'm on the right track of where I wanted to go, the right trajectory of where I wanted to go with this, and to raise awareness, right? And to elevate these messages for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, but for the right reasons. Okay. I'm the person I'm not afraid to talk about the issues. I'm not afraid to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. And again, you're either going to like it or you're not, but this is my platform and I get to run it. And that's the cool part about it, right? That's the cool part about it. I get to run it. I get to say what goes. I get to talk about what I want to talk about. I get to talk about other people's issues that they want to talk about, but they're afraid to talk about them. So they give them to me to talk about, which is fine, right? Because everybody deserves to have a voice, whether they are the voice themselves or they're giving somebody the information to be that voice. And again, it's not to poke at people. It's not to run people in the mud. What it is to raise awareness. And unfortunately, if you are one of those people from one of those stories that, again, that aren't named, but people understand, well, maybe you need to look at yourself in the mirror instead of blaming me or the community. Maybe you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, you know what? I need to right this ship. I was wrong. I was dead wrong in that situation. And now it's time to come out and be righteous about it. And these are the kind of stories that I love to share, because this is the good side of youth sports. And obviously the bad side with the disease, but the good side of the recovery and the healing. But again, it's a long road. It's a long road. And it's going to continue to be a long road. From what I understand, it's going to be continue a long road. I mean, one, two, we're not talking about one or two surgeries. We're talking about double digits, man. We're talking about double digits. And again, what I love about it is it's not one of these situations where, you have a family or people out there that just, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but they're so grounded, right, in this situation, because I guess that they know what lies ahead. They understand what's coming down the pike, and they're prepared. But are we ever truly prepared? And that's what's great about it. Like, when the mom got back to me today and like, what are you apologizing for? Please don't apologize. Your priorities are your priorities. I what I've heard is her mom does like to raise awareness about this disease and the issue. So, like I said, hopefully, when things are getting better for the family, I can get her on to talk about it and just to open up about, what is really the issues, how this because again, I say this all the time, just like the stories we talk about in softball that I've dealt with, just like the stories we talk about in soccer that I've dealt with, that other people talk about, whether it be basketball, football, lacrosse, volleyball, whatever it is, their story can reach other people. Their story can raise awareness within the community. Their story can help somebody else that may be going through the same thing. Like I've said this before, a lot of the stories that I've told in the past, a lot of people said, "Wow, I had no idea. I didn't know that this happened to somebody else. I didn't know that this could happen. I didn't know that this could happen to me. I didn't know that somebody else went down the same road." And not it doesn't make it better that it happened. What it does is it allows people to feel like they're human. It allows people to say, "Wow, okay, I'm really not that screwed up." Right? And I think that's very important. You remember that the whole point about this program is about the anxiety and the achievements in youth sports and the anxiety and the mental health factor. That's something that, listen, that's something that hits a lot of people hard in a lot of different ways that maybe you don't even expect. Maybe you can't even imagine. And that's just not the kids. That's just not the parents. That's also the coaches. That's also, the directors. That there's a lot of people that are involved in this. Okay. A lot of people that are involved in these stories, right? There's a lot of people in these subject lines that are involved. And in this specific story, it involves everything and it encapsulates everything. So again, if you're just tuning in, this is Gina's Journey Part 2. We talked about, again, you could say good luck, Gia, say it back. You could say Gia strong. And again, I shared this, I'll share it again. These are the shirts that the LSAA organization is selling right now for their end of the season tournament that happens this weekend. It's their end of the fall end of the season tournament that happens this weekend, and all the proceeds are going to go directly to Gia's family, who is, listen, they're in a spot, man. Whether they want to admit it or not, they're in a spot. It doesn't matter. No, everything helps. Every positive thought helps. Every positive prayer helps, right? Everything helps. Everything. Just somebody listening to this program helps because again, it gives the parents and the children to the story, or at least the impression, but the impression that's actually a real impression that they have a team fighting for them behind the scenes. I think we all can appreciate that, right? I think we can all appreciate that when we're going through something, if we know that we have people, whether people we know, people we don't know, because listen, not everybody has family, not everybody has a support system. Now, from what I understand, I can already tell you that this family's got a tremendous support system. Multiple friends, multiple people that have reached out to me and told me personally, which is unbelievable, which I love to hear. And now they have an entire softball community, an entire Bucks County community, right? An entire Bucks County community that's behind this family as well. Okay. And I say this family because it's not again, when I first brought this story, brought this story, I had no idea it affected more than just Gia. It was given to me, but I didn't know the severity of a lot of things. Which again, when I talked to the mom today, again, again, um, she explained to me a little bit, and it's unbelievable. Now, I want to share this message that we just got from the Bucks County Girls Softball League. And again, if you want to follow Gia's story, if you want to follow everything, just go to their Facebook page, BCGSL. You can find it on Facebook. It's very simple. The link is going across the screen. It's in the description. And again, those shirts that they're going to be selling, courtesy of LSAA, they're going to be selling them this weekend. You do not have to be a player or part of the organization, okay, to support Gia's cause. and the family. Everything goes directly to the family. And again, you know me, I don't support things that I don't know are credible, and this is 100% credible. So if it's something that you want to get involved in, you let me know, and I will make it happen. Okay. So here's the story from Bucks County Girls Softball. Lady, I said thank you so much for sharing the story. All four of the girls. Listen again. I said two. It's four. Okay. All four of girls have and continue to go through it, and all four have the same attitude. It's a family of four. This is again, this is called Chiari malformation. The link is in there. Never a dull moment with any of them. They fill the dugout with laughter and work hard for their team, even when they aren't feeling great. Keep them in your thoughts. And again, like I've said, a thought, a hashtag good luck Gia, a hashtag Gia strong is worth its weight in gold, man. It's worth its weight in gold. It really is. And when the story was given to me, again, it made me think about the multiple people that have impacted this show, this podcast with people that I know, people in the Bucks County community. I talked about it, and I'll continue to talk about. 2 years ago it was Nate Strong, Nate Gonzalez. I'm not a I can say his name, Nate Gonzalez, who just came back to play football for Williamton High School. Same thing. Fought brain cancer. Okay. Again, multiple people within the organization that are fighting this disease, right? Are fighting this disease. I talk about my man Nick Crisco, my good buddy, man. Nicky Nuts, great dude, man. Great dude. His son Dylan Strong, who battled and still battling. Obviously, he in recovery, in remission. But again, learning how to do just the simple things that we take for granted every day: tying our shoes, walking a straight line, writing our name, speaking in sentence form. Again, I say this because we take a lot for granted. We do. We take a lot for granted. So I just hope that these stories like this, okay? And again, this isn't to take away from all the past episodes that we've had, which I think have been unbelievable on Fighting for Overtime, whether it be Coach Vicky for the Lady Lions, right? That told her story about certain things and her coaching methods, right? Whether it be Noelle Baxter, who talked about the struggles, the mental health struggles she went through at Archbishop Whitten at Kutztown for playing basketball at a high level. Whether it be last week's episode with Coach Mike McDonald from Archbishop Wood, has won a litany of trophies, an award-winning program. However, just so completely grounded, putting the kids first and putting these girls' minds at ease, giving them mental rest. Okay, these are tremendous stories. See, nobody's talking. Everyone wants to be a celebrity. Everybody wants to talk about that. I'm sorry, that's not me. Right? That's not me. I'm not looking for celebrities. I'm not. Because guess what? I'm going to say this, and people may not like it, people may hate it, and I don't care. Those celebrities, they have a tremendous amount of help. They do. Okay. I am not saying that their story is not important by no means, man. By no means. I've lived through some of those stories, like the Stuart Scott story. Man, I remember that like it was yesterday. I've watched Jimmy Valvan, Dick Vitale. Okay, battle and battle, battle. The late Greg, Ern, Chris Mortensen, who we watched, right? Craig Sager, and these are sports community people, right? I get it, but I'm saying not those stories of sickness, but stories of the sports up and down, right? The journey up and down. Like, I know these guys have and women have tremendous stories, and I get it. However, they were on a different trajectory. They can say what they want. They've been on a different trajectory. Okay, they got to a point like they're not sitting here in Bucks County and telling these stories. They're not telling these stories of these kids that are battling, parents that are battling, and the success stories that lie within our own local community. They're not doing that, right? They're not doing that, and these mean more to me than that. They really do, because these are people that we may pass in the grocery store on a daily basis. These are people that we can physically and mentally help, right? And again, like I said, like what if just think about this. And again, just think about it. A couple of people show up at one of these softball games and just to cheer on, Gia and her teammates when Gia gets to play again, right? Or when she's in the dugout. That means the world, man. That means the world. That's not on ESPN, right? That's not on ESPN. That's not on the Go Birds podcast or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm not saying that, to sound like, well, I kind of am, because that's who I am. But I'm bringing, these are stories and these are situations that we all live, right? That we all live. And Gia, again, not just her family, but her specifically, I look at this and say, because I coached, my daughter's 25. So when I coach girls from 9 years old up to 17, and the emotional toll it takes on, these young girls go through, right? These young girls go through a total set of different emotions when they're during that age. And for this girl in Gia to know, because unfortunately she saw all of her sisters going through the same thing, what was coming down. And again, she suffers from a rare brain disorder, okay, called Chiari malformation. Chiari malformation, Chiari, Chiari malformation. And again, it affects the brain. It affects a lot. And the only way is surgery after surgery after surgery that to try to redirect it's unfortunate, it's effects, right? My man checking in. I'm gonna put this up here. Yes, so thank you. Thank you. This is another update. Okay, another update. And again, I first got this story from LSSA and from my guy Stitch, who gave me this story, okay, and told me all about it. So this is the person that coordinated the shirts within the organization, and again, says just got home from practice, so missed the beginning. We'll be selling the shirts at Russell Elliott Fields on Buck Road this Saturday and Sunday for the 12U tournament. We will also be selling them November 1st and 2nd during the 14U tournament at Russell Elliott Park. We sold over 100 shirts already today. All proceeds will be going to the Ramirez family. 100 shirts today. He sold 100 shirts today. Like, that's a community coming together, bro. Seriously. I don't care if you hate one team or you hate another team or you're without, I don't like this organization. I don't like this coach. Like, we ain't got time for any of that shit right now. Zero. Ain't about that. Right? It ain't about that. What it's about is we got a family that's suffering right now. Okay? That's going through it. And they're going like, and that's the thing. I say suffering, but I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. They going through it hard, but they're going through it like a champ. Not only is G going through it like a champ, but this family is going through it like a champ. 10 to 12 days of chop back and forth. Come on, man. Like, how many people probably sitting there bitching and moaning today about the traffic? Because yes, the traffic does suck. The traffic's terrible. I like you can't pay me to go on 95 right now. I can't stand it. They're going to be doing road construction of 2045. It's horrendous. It's enough to put you in a psychotic institution. Okay, it is. And think about it. Every single day. Every single day. Up and back, sleepless nights. Listen, the mom got back to me today. Okay, and literally, and she's sleep deprived, man. No shit. It's crazy. I couldn't imagine. Okay, but the most important thing is, again, I will keep saying this. The most important thing is I got to see a picture of Gia and her sister in a hospital bed, going through it, recovering, getting surgery right after Gia was recovering from her own surgery. Okay, getting a plate put into her head. And G is sitting there smiling. Her sister Bree's sitting there smiling. God damn, man. I'll tell you what. And I get emotional, but like, seriously? Like anything I did today means shit. Nothing I did today. Nothing. And I bitched about a lot. Because I do. I can bitch with the best of them. I really can. Just ask my wife. Okay, I can. I can complain. But you know what, man? When Gia's mom got back to me today and I saw that, my God, it got it hit me. And I was like, dude, what is your issue? What are you bitching about? Right? What are you bitching about? I cannot I cannot wait. And again, I've never, ever, ever. This is the greatest part about what I get to do. Okay. The greatest part about what I get to do. And I'm gonna be honest, like I've been recently really thinking about my next steps, right? When it comes to this whole podcasting world. Because everybody knows I do a multitude of different things. Okay. I do a multitude of different things. But I've really been thinking and contemplating on what do I want to get out of this? And what do I get back? And what I mean by that is no, I'm not talking about what I get back as far as clicks and views and likes and subscribes and money. No, no. What do I get back in stories? What do I get back in messages? Okay. Like I won't we're not going to talk about specifics, but with the couple people that I've been able to coordinate to play on different teams and areas just by hearing other people's interviews. Okay. That's a success to me. To understand, to be able to tell this story, for Stitch to reach out to me and to be able to tell me this story about this girl that has absolutely been through it. And not just this girl, but her entire family been through it. And again, I'll pop it up on the screen. This is what we're talking about right here, which is Gia Strong. Okay, these are the shirts that they're going to be selling with all the proceeds going directly to Gia's family, who right now is dealing with two of their daughters. Okay, two of their daughters going through it. All four of them have gone through it at one time, but two of them right now. And again, it's called Chiari malformation. It affects the brain. It's a rare brain disease. Okay, it's crazy. Okay, it's crazy. They sold 100 of these shirts already today. Okay, and again, they are going to be on sale. I'll put it up again from the guy coordinating Stitch. He's coordinating it right here. They're going to be on sale at Russell Elliott Fields on Buck Road this Saturday and Sunday for the 12U end of the season tournament. Also be selling them November 1st and 2nd during the 14U tournament at Russell Elliott Park. They sold over 100 shirts today. All proceeds will be going to the Ramirez family. And here's what I will tell everybody. Okay? Here's what I will tell everybody. If this is something that you would like to do, if this was something that you would like to support, okay, if you follow me, if you listen to me, if you listen to this on replay, it's very easy. I tagged the organization, both organizations that coexist together that are supporting this cause, where you can get the information. But if you don't even feel comfortable with that, you say, hey, Tony, listen, can you get me a shirt? Can you get me a shirt? Whatever you want, I will make the trip there personally myself to get the shirts. Whatever you want, you let me know, and I will get the shirts personally and deliver them to you. Okay, very very simple. And again, all there's no commitment here, right? There's no pressure. I just at least want to put that out there, okay? Because all these proceeds are going to go to the family. Again, I will give one last update before I get out of here, and I put the link to the disease. Okay, Chiari malformation in the comments. So if you would like to read about the again about this rare brain disease and disorder, it's very, very simple. You can read through it right there. Also, make sure you go if you want to follow Gia's journey, make sure you follow the Facebook page over there at BCGSL, which is the Bucks County Girls Softball League. Also, get over there and follow the LSAA organization that is leading this charge as well. by the guy who runs it. His name is Stitch, who is, again, who you just saw commenting there, that is behind this initiative. He's the person that gave me this story. Okay. He's the person that emailed me specifically this story. Okay. And again, this isn't a time for battles with anybody or any specific people. This is, again, my man JD checking in says, good luck, G. It hurts when a kid can't play. Not only that, JD, but it hurts when, this kid and this family, it continues to go through the ringer, continues to go through the ringer. And softball seems like that's what brings them joy, these girls joy. And from what I understand is they're always smiling, they always have a right, an upbeat attitude. And again, I've reached out to Gia's mom today personally after a conversation with a couple people. I again, these situations are different. I don't want to be that guy that, I'm throwing microphones in people's faces and feel like I'm inserting myself into a situation where maybe they do not want that. Okay. So I just kind of reached out and told her, hey, listen, this is what I plan to do, what I've done and what I want to do. And I'd be more than happy, because what I hear is she's a huge advocate in the community for this disease, and to raise awareness for this. So I asked her if she would like to come on and tell a story. And she honestly said she can't. She said because she's literally sleep deprived. She would love to, but she's literally sleep deprived. And like I said, Gia on October 7th had the surgery, was in recovery, and then her older sister had a setback, and she had to get rushed into surgery for the same thing, for the infection that it caused. And still to this day admitted at CHOP for this situation, with a picture of Gia standing right by her side, smiling, keeping her sister company. And her sister, who's suffering right now, is smiling as well. Amazing story, man. It makes everything else second rate. Makes everything else second rate. So again, fighting for overtime. This is all about what fighting for overtime is. It's not just about to bring the negative stories, it's about to bring the positive stories and also raise awareness within the community of people that are struggling, within the youth sports system, whether they're struggling mentally or physically. And I can tell you right now, this family is going to be suffering both physically and mentally, just from this entire situation that has been going on, from what I understand, for years. So God bless. God bless the family. God bless Gia. Gia strong. Good luck, Gia. Gia strong. Simple, very, very simple words that you could say. Say a prayer, have a thought. I want to give a thanks to everybody who had tuned in. Okay, share, tell the story, let people understand. Give people, that premise that, listen, this is a story that we all need to go behind. Let's all get behind Gia, whether you like an organization or you don't like an organization, whether you like a coach, don't like a coach. Think about that going forward. No matter what situation you're in. Okay, that all gets pushed to the side. That all gets pushed to the side. We're talking about a young girl, a family that's going through it. We push all that to the side and we put those thoughts number one. So in closing, I will say again, if you want to follow the podcast, I will continue to give updates. I will, if you would like the shirt for Gia Strong, 100%, like they just sold 100 today. If you would like a shirt to support the family, you let me know and I will personally get it for you. Okay. I will personally get it for you. And I will make the trip this weekend to go to Russell Elliott Park to get the shirts for whoever would like one. I know I'm personally going to get one for myself because I can't wait to wear it and support Gia and her family and the cause that she suffers from, Chiari malformation. So everybody for checking in, much appreciated. Memories and moments. You know how we roll right here, fighting for overtime, and we'll get back to you again. Not next time, but we'll get if any other updates come up. I will get back to you next time. But we do have some really good episodes coming up. So make sure you keep it locked right here on Fighting for Overtime. Just had a couple really good guests coming up and have another story, actually, two stories that I think we all want to hear that we probably don't know about, that I didn't know about, that were given to me as well. And hopefully we can support these people in their journey as well. Everybody have a fantastic evening. As I always say, stay safe and stay healthy. And we'll get back to you.